In this tutorial, we will create this SkillShare logo animation. It's very simple to create. Just few tricks are there that makes your path easier. First of all, let's create a new composition. I have set it to 1280 by 720 pixels. Now take text tool and type here skill. I'm not going to animate full logo. I will show you initial characters animation and the rest can be done in same way. Using align panel, set it in middle of the composition. Now, if you try to animate these characters right away, it won't let you do that as you won't get trim path effect here. Now, you might think that we right click on it and can create path out of the text. Now you will get trim path of course, but it will not behave in right manner like if I apply this effect to the character S only. If you will change any of its parameters, effect will create strange things. You see that? Even you can remove fill from the text and use only stroke. Now trim path will work very good, but you will still not get desired result as you will need this on the fill, not on the stroke. In order to get that desired result, we will need to trace this text character by character. Here, one thing you have to notice, I'm using Mirate Pro font with 350 point size. Now, characters which are made with straight lines, it will be easier to trace them using pen tool right inside After Effects. It will be more tedious to trace them in Adobe Illustrator and then bring them back to After Effects. I'll show you. But first, I'm going to take pen tool and trace out characters K and L one by one. I have kept stroke size to 22 and fill to none. I just need the path and keep every path on a separate layer because we have to animate them separately. And also we will need to change the blending mode of the layer to get the desired result. Using start and end points, try to trace characters smoothly. You don't have to be very precise, just keep it close. And also rename layers, whatever will suit you to differentiate between them. Do same with character I. For character L, create it in two parts. It will help us to create animation. Alright, let's rename it. Now you don't trace last L. Once the animation will be done, we will just copy it. Now, I don't want this butter cap on strokes. So let's go inside of shape properties of each layer and change cap to round. Do it for all shapes that we have just created. Alright, let's hide base text layer and fix last two paths. Okay, it's better now. Okay, so if we turn on base layer, you can of course trace character S using pen tool, but it will be difficult to get a smooth path. I mean, adjusting curves, adding nodes, that's frustrating. So for this, we have a better solution. Let's jump into Adobe Illustrator. Create a new artboard with same size as of the After Effects composition. Now take text tool and type the character. Use same font, Mirate Pro, and increase font size to 350. I mean, keep same settings as of the After Effects. Alright, now first of all, we will need only stroke, not fill. Now go to Object menu and let's expand it. Take Direct Selection tool and I'm going to delete these lines so that character will be open. Okay, now go to Object menu, ungroup it, right-click on the text and release compound path. Now both paths will get separated, which allows us to blend both paths. Go to Object menu, Blend, Blend Options, change it to specified steps and set number to 1. Now select both paths and create the blend. It will create in-between path easily. Again, go to Object menu, expand it. Now just ungroup it, deselect all, and just delete both paths. In order to bring it in After Effects, just copy this path using Ctrl or Command C. Go to After Effects, take Pen tool and click anywhere on the composition. Make sure it is set to Shape, not Mask. Now paste the path using Ctrl or Command V. Use Move tool and fix its position. Okay, it's done now. Let's rename this layer. Bring it down in the layer stack, and as we have done before, just change stroke to round cap. If you hide this base layer, you will find that this character is looking relatively small. Well, that's not a big deal. You can fix it by scaling it. I'm sorry, let me undo it. Use Pen Behind tool and keep anchor point in middle of the text. And now scale it up to 110 points. Now it's looking thicker than other characters. So either reduce its stroke width, or I am going to make other characters little bit thicker, say 25 points. That's good. Well, this trick is good in some scenarios, but can be bad in other scenarios. Let me show you. Suppose you have to trace this character K. This will be very tedious job if I try using same method. Just expand it. Now ungroup it and release the compound path. Now use Direct Selection tool and open the paths. Now all paths are separate, but if you are going to blend these shapes together, it will just mess up. Just undo it. First, we have to cut these paths. Like here, there is tiny line which is joining two paths, and we don't need that. So select the path using Direct Selection tool, and using Scissor tool, just cut it out from the anchor points. And just delete this tiny line. Zoom it more to check. That's fine now. Zoom it out. These paths are separate. Now using Scissor tool, separate other paths as well, just like I am doing here. Okay, first step is done. Now we have set of paths ready which can be blended. But first we should join them. So using Direct Selection tool, select this node and holding Shift, select this node. Go to Object, Path, Join. It will join both paths and create one object. Now select both paths and blend these. Remember, you have to blend in specified steps using only one step. Alright, same as before, join these two paths as well. Now select both paths and blend them. Now for these two paths, when you blend them, it will create a problem, like it's not blending properly. So just undo it, select any path, go to Object, Transform, Rotate. Rotate it on 180 degrees. If you preview it, nothing will happen. We are just flipping it. Just hit OK. But now, when you select both paths and blend them, it will create perfect blend. Now select all shapes, expand and ungroup them, and just delete outer shapes. It will create the shape, but still you have to adjust paths, like delete these nodes here. Now we have to move this one. Similarly, adjust this path also. So you see, it's quite time consuming rather tracing it inside After Effects itself. So just take combination of these two methods and you will be good to go. Now jump into After Effects and let's animate these characters. Let's create some room here and start from character S. Just add trim path effect here. Use end parameter to animate it. Add a keyframe, go to 1 second and set end parameter to 50.5. This is because we have to create half path in one color and other half in another color. Select both keyframes and apply Easy Ease. Alright, now just duplicate this layer and let's change its label color to orange so that we can just differentiate both. Open up trim path effect again, and this time I'm not going to animate end parameter. We will need start parameter instead. So add a keyframe, set its value to 100, move to 1 second and set its value to 50.5 so that both paths will overlap to each other a little bit. Alright, now let's change stroke color to orange. And in last, you just have to change blending mode to multiply. And if you don't find this option here, just toggle this switch and you will be able to change mode to multiply. As soon as you do it, it will automatically create this shade where both shapes will overlap to each other. Let's check it. That's great. Once again, I want to explain you that this area is overlapping area. Both paths are intersecting each other. And since we have changed blending mode to multiply, so it's creating shading effect. This is done. Now let's go to character K. Apply trim path effect. Let's check for end parameters value. Actually, take reference of original composition. Well, first half portion should be slightly big. So you can say that it should last on the point from where this shape starts. So first change its color so that we can observe it clearly. Okay, maybe 65 points will be enough. Nope, 64. Yeah, that's fine. Add a keyframe to it. Move this keyframe to 10th frame and on the first keyframe set end value to 0. Add Easy Ease. That's fine. It's first half. So let's copy it. Change label color to orange. Go to trim path effect settings and remove keyframes on the end parameter and set it to 100. Once again, you will have to play with start parameter. Here, set it to 64 so that both paths will overlap on each other a little bit. Change its color. Now let's change blending mode to multiply. And it's not visible because this shape is above to the both layers. Let's bring it down in the layer stack and we will get the shade. Now time to animate this layer. I believe there is no need of explanation for using trim path. Maybe you have used it many times before, or if not, by this time you must be familiar with it. Just take care timings of the animation. Alright, now next path should start animation from this point. So again, use trim path effect and animate it using end parameter. In last, change blending mode to multiply. Well, we will get the shape, but path is not on the perfect position. So let's go inside of the path properties, select the path and move this node just like I'm doing it. That's good. Let's check it. Very well. Now I'm fast forwarding this video because you can animate last two shapes easily. Same process, but slightly difference in parameter values. Alright, let's check it. Awesome. For last character, copy these two layers. Change the label color first. Now copy and paste them. Using keyboard, adjust their position. Although using base text layer, it will be easy to put these on proper place. Just hide it. Now we have created this prominent logo animation. Well, sometimes we have to trace out some complicated characters. There is another trick which I want to show you in Illustrator. Take text tool and suppose we have to trace out character P. So first expand it and keep only strokes. Now ungroup it and release compound path. So these two paths are separated, but blending them is not that easy. So what you need to do, first open the path, take pen tool and close the path from here, just like this. Not very precise here, we will adjust it later on. Well, until now, it's not joining the paths. It's just a separate line. So in order to create a new shape here, select all, take shape builder tool and click here to separate a new shape out of the upper portion. So these two lines will be separate, but this will be whole new shape. Let me undo it. Select middle shape and delete it. We won't need that. Select the upper portion, check it if it is grouped. Well, it's not. So right click and release compound path. It will create two shapes for blending. Same trick again, just blend these. Same for bottom lines. Select whole shape, expand it, and ungroup it. Delete outer parts. Now just use direct selection tool and adjust paths little bit in order to get the good shape. It's not that easy what I say, but it's much less painful than tracing it using pen tool. Well, this is it guys. See you in next tutorial.